Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother in the struggle coming right back at you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to make a short video to tell you to tell you what I've been telling you all along. Now, I've been preparing you for those that are old to my channel, even from the previous channel that was taken off by YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you real quick about the misconceptions of reality that have always existed upon this planet, upon this flat earth of ours, since we fell from God's grace, since we were created. So the reality is that when we fell from God's grace, our Creator, everything became a lie. Everything was a complete lie. And people have always followed the lies because it is in their own essence, in their own nature, human nature, to believe lies instead of the truth. In fact, this is the reason why I have over 600 videos, only 153 subscribers. But you know what? One subscriber is enough for me. Because remember, humanity started with two human beings, Adam and Eve, our fathers, our human fathers. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, what we see upon this earth is a total lie. Even humanity existence upon this planet is based upon a lie. Why? I tell you why. Here's what I mean. Most of us, most of the present human civilization that exists upon this planet, we came to exist not due to God asking God to bless our families. No, in fact, humanity is playing God. The world leaders are playing God. They have this God complex. And thereby have always pushed the opposite of God. That's why this is the reason why they have you distracted with so many things. For instance, religion. What did Karl Marx said? Rightfully so, but in a mocking way. Religion is the opium of the people. Because you pacify the masses, and then once they pacify, it's like a freaking drugs. You control them. And then by you pushing religions on them, then what's happening next? What's going to happen next, right? Well, the Satanists feel the right to, hey, if the Christians can do this, they have the right to do this, then we can come in. But don't we see the picture? Don't we see the big pictures in front of us? That religion was always a means to an end under this matrix system that we live in. Right now, humanity is passing to what, compared to what is coming, ladies and gentlemen, what is right around the corner. Humanity is right now, in spite of all its wars that are going around, in spite of the killing of Christians, for instance, in Ethiopia, in Nigeria, 125,000 so-called Christians were killed in Nigeria. By who? By the Roman Catholic creation called the Muslim faith. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Roman Catholic Church is the first beast, is the devil's bride. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it, let's get real here. The Roman Catholic Church and the Muslim religion, the Islamic faith, they have a secret that if he was to come out, ladies and gentlemen, people will wake up. Because whether you want to believe it or not, the Islamic faith was created and pushed by the Roman Catholic Church 1,500 years ago. You may say, then, Ruben, why would they create a religion? Well, first of all of religions came out of the Roman Catholic Church, which that's why she's called the first beast. Okay? All religions came from her. All faiths. Hence, she's called the first beast. In fact, the numeral value of the Latin letters for the Pope's name is 666. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think that, and then people are so asleep. They have been so distracted, again, with religions, with political views and different aspects. Why you think there's a two-party system in the United States? Because this way, they keep the masses divided. Because if the masses unite, then the whole political system will crumble. Okay? So this virus called human government or human political system, because that's all they are, is a virus. They live off people's divisions, you know. That's why they have they live off many statements like order out of chaos. They create order they create chaos to bring you order. And remember, the all Hegel dialectic system, the oldest trick in the book. How governments and empires have always governed their particular society. They created problems, they watch people's reactions, and they come up with the solutions. And that is so obvious, in plain sight. But people are so distracted with their cell phones, with pornography, with entertainment, with sports, you name it. Humanity is ready to submit to, not, ladies and gentlemen, not to a coming antichrist. There's no such thing as a man as a boogeyman that's going to come out of nowhere called the Antichrist. No. Please do not waste your time. That is a trick. That was a trick. Remember, tricks, okay? Tricks are for kids. You're not kids. In fact, your kids depend on you. That you push the truth and you guide them in the right spiritual path. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as an antichrist. They say, oh, is Obama the antichrist? Is Donald Trump the antichrist? Give me a freaking break. The antichrist has always existed. Ever since we disobey our Creator, the disobeying spirit. The disobeying nature itself is antichrist. That's why we don't believe in the Bible. That's why we come to the conclusion, the crazy, stupid conclusion, oh, King James was a homosexual and gay. No, he wasn't. He was a brown-skinned brother which governed, did you know that he governed England, the United Kingdom, and Wales at the same time? He was a king in 2 different countries. Okay? He destroyed, the first book that he wrote was about what? Demonology. That was the first book. He talked about demonology. Why? Because he declared war on witches. He burned a lot of them. That was his first order. Get the virus out of the way. And then he got scribes together and he wrote the King James Version, which is the truth, even though it has been played with and manipulated, but the essence is there. The meat of the message is there, even though the Roman Catholic Church, again, the first beast, of course, took 16 books out of the Bible, like the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, the book of the story of Judith, the story of Anna, the Thessalonic book, and so on, just to give you some of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, this present last human generation, why do you think the powers that be called the Generation Z? Because it is the last generation and they know it. Ladies and gentlemen, this present generation exists not because humanity asked God to provide kids for them, because as I just told you, humanity doesn't believe in God for the most part. And religion has made sure that most of humanity that exists upon this earth were born for many different reasons. Mistakes, one-night stands. My mother wants to have kids, honey. Let's have kids. To make money out of them through child support. And to dedicate the children to the sun god Baal, who is Nimrod. Ladies and gentlemen, through the process of abortion, which is the most cruelest and most cowardice way of killing a human being that cannot defend itself. And women don't see nothing wrong with it, and the system say, hey, sure, no problem. See, everything that is opposite of that God, because again, we live in a lie under this satanic matrix. That's why they support the LGBTQ plus community. You understand? The homosexuality community and lesbian community and transgender community. I mean, they're turning kids. Again, men has a God complex. And they're turning little girls into little boys. They're giving little girls pennies, sexual, a man's sexual organ, and then they're giving little boys female sexual organs. Do you understand how sick? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most cruelest, the most deceitful, the most evil human society that has ever existed upon this planet. Even compared to the the times of Noah before the flood, and Sodom and Gomorrah combined. I don't say that, the Bible says so. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are living on a lie. Let me give you another lie, another big lie that the world has been living under. And the United States has completely been taken over by this lie. It has become a hostage. Hence, the United States will be destroyed. The United States is the second beast, ladies and gentlemen, mentioned on chapter 13, starting on verse 11. Read it. That's the second beast, the United States of America. Because while the first beast was down, destroyed by for 131 years old, 131 years by Napoleon Bonaparte, and then from 1798 to 1929, they were out of power, and the United States was the one coming up again. What doing? What? Selling the lie. But here's another, the one big lie, which is believing that the present Israeli nation is God's chosen. Oh yeah, they're God, Lucifer. Remember, this present Zionists and Jewish in the Holy Land, they come from the serpent people. I don't feel no hate towards no human beings. In fact, I live the 10 Commandments. That's what I push here. Okay? There's no hate speech here. I love my human. I don't hate humanity. Regardless of your cultures, the color of your skin, I don't hate. I hate what you do, what you have allowed yourself to become. That's what I preach against. That's the spirit of disobedience. In fact, in the so-called Holy Land, no longer Holy Land, they don't believe in Christ. And they hate Christians. Remember, see the little game? See how they got us distracted? When it is all part of the same agenda, religions. The greatest trick ever played on the human mind. Okay? After the fall, after humanity's fall. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to take a look at the links that I will share with you. Because most people come to YouTube, to Rumble, to wherever they go, to Facebook, and they just publish. They inform you. They tell you things. I'm not here to just inform you. I'm here to explain to you today's news. For instance, what is happening between the two nations that are brothers in reality. They speak almost the same language, and they look alike. The war between Russia and Ukraine. In fact, Russia was born in Ukraine. And look at them now. Look how the evil, the devils have been killing each other. But the devil is not interested in that bloodshed, because he got Esau's descendants. He wants to go after whom they hope that they have completely destroyed, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. And one of them is G-A-D. God, whom people call, they are known as what? The Native Americans. The tribe of God. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, please do not confuse me by this sickos out there called the Israelites nation, because those groups have been taken over. In fact, have you looked at some of them? Some of them even have rifles in their hand. If you are with God, you don't need no arms. You don't need no rifles. You understand? So anyway, do not confuse me with those crazy, because the one that be saying, oh, the white man is the devil. White man is not the devil. Let me just put this to you. Let me give this to you straight. If the white man is the devil, what that makes you? A saint? Oh, no, I'm chosen one. I'm perfect. No, you're not. We are all sinners. Excuse me. We are all sinners. In fact, a lot of so-called white folks will be saved, will be taken out, because that's what God is. God is going to send His angels before this whole thing is completely collapsed, ladies and gentlemen. Because this, again, like I just tell you, this last human generation didn't ask God to what? To give them a family, to bless their family. What do they say? My body, my choice. Ha, ha, ha. My body, my choice, right? When it comes to abortion. You understand? But when what happened on 2020, no, there was no choice there. It was not your body, not your choice. Because if you didn't take that juice, you was not allowed to work. You was not allowed to go into stores. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, this is all I have for you. Okay, now we have. I work for the government, as you know, and we have to deal with people, to tell the people that due to the government shutdown, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, this shutdown that you have, ladies and gentlemen, is only a test run. Because what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, what's coming down the pipe is you won't be able to, and then, I mean, the government will reopen, but this is a test run. Because they're going to have everything in place where, unless you take the mark of the beast, they would definitely cut your SNAP, your food stamps, and your cash assistance and your medical assistance. So unless you're down with the system, you will be out of the system. Unless you take that mark, okay? And people are already, hey, you see it, they are all primed for it. That's what happens when you believe in liars who are your politicians. And what do? They blame each other. As always, that's how they work. They play with your emotions. The Democrat says, "Oh no, it's the Republicans' fault," and the Republican evils. That's what I call them. The Republic evils call them. Say no, it's the Democrats that are at fault for this shutdown. This is a test run, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to wake the hell up. You have 40 million people getting this in the United States. Another problem that was created, watching for your reactions, which they got, and now they came with your solution. Biden did it, and he made it so obvious that it was part of the plan. Because after what happened on 9/11, ladies and gentlemen, shouldn't you have the border sealed? Okay? And I don't want to hear, oh no, no. He opened the south border to the whole wide world. It was all part of the plan. So now, Donald Trump would have come in and he would look like the savior. See how they play you? Okay? Your leaders, ladies and gentlemen, once again, your votes. Your leaders are not elected. They are selected by the system, by the powers that be. Okay? Now, the giants that live nowadays that are only pushing evil are what? Let me just give you some of them. Bill Gates. The World Economic Forum. One of them is, what's his name? Harari, who was the right man, who was Klaus Schwab, right-hand man. He's gay. He met his man online. So the same people pushing this crap on humanity are gay. In fact, Hollywood's controlled by the gay, by gays. The musical industry is controlled by gays, by the homosexual community. They are minority, but they have power and they control. So now you got all these people talking about, oh, I'm going to riot. I'm going to go into Walmart and I'm going to make sure that my kids are fed. Because you see, you spoil society. And then you what? You destroy them. You lock them up. See, didn't I tell you many years ago that there were going to be boots on the ground in Chicago? For now, they are just United States soldiers. But soon, it will be a what? An international force, a United Nations force, which will not care for you. And that's not even counting the fact that the Persian's descendant, which is Iranians, who already have cells here in the United States, when they start attacking, 9/11 would look like a walk in the park, like a cakewalk, like a kid's child's play. Okay? America is going down from within, and everybody's playing their parts. From the Democrats to the Republicans, there's no difference between those parties, okay? They are controlled by the same one, okay? Why you think they got John F. Kennedy out of the way? In fact, go to YouTube and get the speech that killed John F. Kennedy. When you serve the God of this world, which is Satan, which is written on the dollar bill, in God we trust, yeah, Satan, and with all the demonic symbols on it, ladies and gentlemen, they're trusting God. Yeah, they're God. See, you're not ready. That's why they've been hiding the extraterrestrial existence, because you're not ready for the truth. Because they're not really extraterrestrial. They are fallen angels that have always existed upon this earth. The same one that were in the times of Noah. Except that now there's more of them and they are out. They're out for blood. And they're getting served blood all over the place. Again, for Nigeria, 125,000 Christians killed. In the name of what? Christianity. You see what I'm saying? See how they play? Okay? In fact, look at the paper Inquisition. Between 1200 and 400. They killed almost 1 million people. And they burned people at the stake. And people's sin was to reading the Bible, and witches, of course, that they created, because they dispose of their own to use them as a means to an end to destroy the God's chosen people. So are you ready to accept this reality? In fact, people are so worked up, ladies and gentlemen, that you talk about Donald Trump and the MAGA. Do you know what MAGA stands for? It's magic. And the whole of the United States controlled by Freemasons. All of your presidents have been Freemasons in the United States, starting with your so-called first president, which was George Washington, which is a lie, because there were 16 presidents before him. Again, everything is a lie, ladies and gentlemen. You have been lied to about the shape of the earth. It's a flat earth. They said, no, it's a globe. Even though they show you for instance, in the United Nations map, they also tell you, oh, we went to the moon, but we lost all of the technology. We cannot go there no more. But yet they're talking about that they have machine, they have They're talking about one day going to Mars. These people are crazy. They are demons deceiving humanity because there's no such thing as planet. The Earth doesn't go around the sun 66,000 miles per hour. No, the heavenly body moves. The sun, the moon, and the stars. Hey, it's written in the Bible. Okay? So this is all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please. I thought it was going to be short, but then look at the time once again. So stop being played by the system and establish a strong relationship with your Creator. Because that is the only way that you will be taken out of this mess. And not in some rapture. See how they play? People were talking about that they were going to be raptured. Like what? About a month ago? Did they? Did the rapture happen? No. So what do you think these people are going to believe? They are going to become atheists. See? See? Religion, again, is a means to an end. Welcome to atheism. Huh? Your religion lied to you. All of them do. Just follow the Ten Commandments. Just have a strong relationship with your Creator. Praying in the privacy of your bedroom, and you'll be okay. Even what you eat, be careful not to eat. And in fact, go to Leviticus chapter 20. It tells you right there what you should eat, even the fishes that you should eat, because this body is the body of God. We were created in the image of our Creator. Are you down with it? Will you accept this reality? This is not about believing in God. God is not looking for, people, you believe in me? No. Because how do you show that you believe in God? By living His Ten Commandments. By living the way, and then you tell me, if I'm wrong about this, and I'm done. Tell me, if this thing right here, the Ten Commandments, tell me the one thing that is wrong with the Ten Commandments. Okay? Now, before I go, let me read to you 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy goes like this. Chapter 4, verse 1. Talking about this present generation. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirit and doctrines of devils. Verse 2. Speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. You understand? That's what is happening. And now, let us go to John 8. John 8. Real quick, before I let you go. John 8. John 8, verse 32. You want to know the meaning of freedom? Of real freedom? Yeah, it's right there. John 8, verse 32. And ye should know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's what make you free, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Because the truth is constant. The truth is the truth. Are you down with it? Or you want to keep on believing this alternate reality that has been pushed on you for thousands of years upon this earth? That has been pushed on humanity through deceit and misconceptions and distortions of reality due to the first sins? Okay? May God bless you. And once again, this truth, ladies and gentlemen, is not for everybody. Because people will, because you got to understand that the human mind is enmity against God. Okay? We always go against our own. And this video I made with all my love. God bless you. And remember, there's more.